Chapter 7, Wax People. Exterior riverbank sunrise. The dark green VW bus with its pop top sits silently at the edge of a river mouth. In the foreground is an eroded riverbank which empties into the ocean, a tree-lined U-shaped cove, and about 10 to 12-foot waves breaking. Cut 2. Art sits cross-legged at the edge of the eroded riverbank, as he is watching the sunrise and the waves breaking in the foreground. He is next to the campfire and is drinking hot chocolate. Via wakes up in her bunk, which is in the top section of the VW bus. She looks at the waves through a little screened-in window. Via, it's firing! Via notices Art sitting next to the fire in a meditative state. Via, dang it! Via scurries out of the top bunk, jumps to the floor, scoots around her sleeping brother, and exits the VW bus. Via, with a small box in her hand, walks up to Art, who is sitting next to the fire. Art, with a cocky grin, looks up at Via. Art, there's a pot of hot chocolate near the fire. Via, okay, just go ahead and say it. Art, what? Via, just say it. Art, oh, you mean that you basically just slept the whole morning away? Via, yeah. Art, and we came hundreds of miles to surf, and all you can do is sleep. Via looks at Art and acknowledges her defeat, then gets over it. Via, yeah, now give me some of that hot chocolate. Art and Via both look at each other, smile, and laugh. Art, the waves are going off. They're some of the biggest waves I've ever seen. Art points to the left-hand side of the river mouth. Art, look how hollow it is. That's the spot Joe was telling me about. He said, this is where you'll learn to be a great tube rider. Via, what an insane wave. Via looks at Art and changes the subject. Via, remember when we were little and Joe would pay us $5 to scrape the old crusty wax off the used surfboards? Flashback 2. Exterior, beige and surfboards, day. Via and Art's dialogue continues over the flashback. Art and Via are 12 years old. They are outside of the surf shop, scraping the wax off of 10 used surfboards. Art, yeah, we were like 12 and thought it was the coolest thing ever that Joe would ask us to scrape off the wax. Via, do you remember those horribly deformed figurines that we made out of the old crusty wax? Flashback continues. Art and Via smiling and laughing, making deformed figures out of the gray wax ball from the surfboards. Art, I made a figurine that looked like you, and you made a figurine that looked like me. Via, yeah, they look like misshapen zombies. I stuck them together and said the words, friends forever. End flashback. Exterior, riverbank, sunrise, present day. Via hands Art a small box. Happy 16th birthday. Art opens the box and reveals the deformed wax figurines. He looks at Via with a big smile. Art, friends forever. Art and Via make eye contact with each other, and they acknowledge that they are, indeed, the best of friends. Cut 2. Exterior, beach, morning. Art and Via are walking on the beach wearing full wetsuits. Each has a surfboard under their arms. They are winding their way through the huge weathered logs and stumps that have been deposited here from the river. They reach the shoreline and strap their leashes to their ankle. Art and Via begin to paddle out. In the foreground, the hollow waves are breaking. Pelicans and other shorebirds are diving into the ocean, feeding off of a school of fish. Art and Via duck dive the shore break and head for the surf. Art's point of view. Via is paddling out as a huge wave breaks. The wave pitches out, tubes, and spits out a plume of water. Via's facial features turn to excitement. Via, did you see that tube? It's cooking! Art, it's cooking! Art, check out the one behind it! Radical! Via, I've died and gone to heaven. Art and Via are sitting at the lineup. They have mastered the basics of surfing, but there is always more to learn. This is shown in their surfing styles. Art: geez, it's a little bigger once you get out here. Via: tell me about it. Art: well, let's go for it. The reputation of our home break is at stake. Via: here comes a set. A 4-wave set marches in on the horizon. Every swell is a carbon copy of the one behind it. As the first wave passes, Art and Via rise to the crest and sink to the trough of the wave. The same thing happens again on the second wave. Via looks at the third wave. She spins her board around and paddles for the wave. She drops into a 10-footer. Looking a little awkward, she makes the bottom turn. The wave pitches out and lands right on her head. She disappears under the water. As Via surfaces, she looks at the next wave coming at her. Art is getting ready to drop in. Via's point of view. Via is watching Art drop into the wave. He is also looking a bit unsteady, making the bottom turn. The wave pitches out, but he's too far in front of it to get tubed. Art speeds down the section as Via takes a breath and dives underwater for safety. Via's hands are swimming to the bottom. The white turbulence gets a hold of her and spins her around like a washing machine. She begins to ascend and finally breaks through the surface, gasping for air. Via quickly regains her composure. Via: I love it! Via's point of view, back of the wave. Art is catapulted through the air and hooting as the wave passes underneath him. Art lands in the water behind the wave. He retrieves his surfboard and paddles towards Via. Art: this place is going off! Art and Via are side by side, paddling back out to the lineup. Art: how was your ride? Via: I got guillotined. Art: ooh. Art and Via arrive at the lineup. A set wave appears on the horizon. Via looks at Art with a focused determination to conquer the world. Via: I'm on it! She spins around and paddles for the wave. Art and Via are now on a mission. They are taking on the waves with no fear or hesitation. A series of shots. Shot A. Via drops into a wave, disappears under a curtain of water, and gets tubed. Shot B. Art does a sweeping bottom turn, stalls, and gets the barrel of his life. Shot C. Art and Via are hanging out at the lineup with 5 other surfers. Shot D. Eduardo catches a wave. He gets tubed and comes out. Shot E. Art, Via, and Eduardo are back at the campsite, eating a sandwich and watching people surf in the foreground. Shot F. Art, Via, and Eduardo paddle back out to the lineup. Shot G. Art gets a deep barrel and comes out. Shot H. Via gets tubed and does a vertical off the lip. Shot I. The sunset approaches and silhouettes of surfers are sitting in the lineup. They are moving up and down with the crest and trough of the waves. Dissolve 2. End of Chapter 7. Wax People. This is Mark, the author of The Bond Between Surfers. I'm creating a surfing grassroots effort to make this book into a feature-length film. Help support the project by purchasing the book, ebook, or audiobook. All proceeds will go to funding the film. Then one day, you'll be sitting in the movie theater, looking up at the big screen, and you can proudly say, I bought the book and made this movie. For more info, check out my website, tbbsurf.com. Thanks for your support.